Welcome to the deep dive.
hmm
And big thanks to Simon Makajewski for sending in
Yeah.
this really fascinating piece on the AI co-scientist.
Yeah.
We're not just going to skim the surface today. We're really diving deep to try to extract some
Yeah.
practical lessons from this exciting development.
Right.
You've heard about AI assisting in all kinds of fields,
hmm
but this is about genuine scientific collaboration.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't about, robots replacing researchers or anything. This is about a sophisticated partner that can really boost the speed and efficiency
Right.
of discovery, just, augmenting human intellect and capabilities.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this AI can do a lot.
Mm.
It can analyze vast quantities of scientific literature, it can generate entirely new hypotheses,
Yeah.
and even design potential experiments.
Right.
What's really compelling for you is to see this in action.
Absolutely.
So in this deep dive, we're focusing on a couple of key areas where this AI has already demonstrated its potential in biomedicine. We'll explore how it's contributing to novel target discovery, offering new ways to approach diseases like liver fibrosis, and how it's shedding light on the complex mechanisms behind bacterial evolution and antimicrobial resistance.
Right.
These aren't just theoretical possibilities. These are real-world examples offering tangible insights
Yeah.
into the future of scientific exploration,
Absolutely.
and then also how it's identifying existing drugs that are already FDA approved
Okay.
for potential for cancer treatment.
Wow. These examples, I think, are particularly insightful because it really highlights the AI's versatility.
Yeah.
Tackling challenges from identifying new therapeutic avenues to understanding, fundamental biological processes.
Right.
I think it really gives you a sense of the breadth and depth of its potential impact.
So let's delve into how this AI is impacting the search for new ways to tackle diseases.
Okay.
And one compelling area is target discovery, particularly in a challenging condition like liver fibrosis. For those of you keeping up with liver research, you know that fibrosis, the scarring of the liver, has limited treatment options. And what's really significant here is the use of these advanced models,
Okay.
human hepatic organoids, which are essentially miniature 3D liver tissues grown in the lab.
Yeah.
And these provide a much more accurate way to study human liver disease than traditional methods.
Right. So what's fascinating is how the AI co-scientist was deployed in this context.
So,
Researchers tasked it with generating hypotheses about the role of epigenetic alterations in liver fibrosis. So these are changes that affect gene activity without altering the underlying DNA sequence,
right.
and then importantly, to suggest drugs that could target these alterations.
So the AI essentially immersed itself in the complex interplay of genetics and liver disease.
That's right.
What did it uncover?
Well, experts carefully reviewed the AI's computationally generated hypotheses,
Yeah.
and they selected the most promising ones for experimental validation,
Huh?
using those human liver organoids that you mentioned. And the results were quite significant. Drugs acting on 2 of the 3 epigenetic targets that were pinpointed by the AI demonstrated clear antifibrotic activity in the organoids.
Oh, wow.
What's also crucial is that these drugs didn't exhibit significant toxicity to the cells
Okay.
in the model.
That's a key point, right? It's not just about finding something that works against the disease,
Yeah, exactly.
but something that does so without causing undue harm
Right.
to the rest of the body.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think,
Okay.
for potential clinical translation.
Mm-hmm.
One of the drugs identified by the AI as targeting these key epigenetic mechanisms is already FDA approved for a different medical condition.
Right.
So this immediately opens up the possibility of repurposing,
Yeah.
potentially accelerating the timeline for getting new treatments to patients with
Yeah.
liver fibrosis.
So it really showcases the AI's ability to make connections
Absolutely.
that might not be immediately obvious to human researchers.
Right.
Linking, epigenetic pathways in liver disease to existing pharmacological tools. It's like having a hyper-connected intelligence,
Yeah.
identifying potential solutions that are kind of hidden in plain sight.
Absolutely. And it really underscores the AI's capacity to not only suggest potential drugs,
Right.
but to actually identify novel biological pathways that are central to the disease process.
Right.
So this opens up entirely new avenues for therapeutic intervention
Yeah.
that we might not have otherwise considered.
So let's shift gears now to another fascinating application.
Okay.
Understanding the intricate world of bacterial evolution
Right.
and the growing threat of antimicrobial resistance, or AMR. This is a critical area for global health.
Yeah.
As bacteria increasingly develop resistance to the antibiotics that we rely on.
Right. So this particular case study, I think, is quite remarkable. The researchers actually challenged the AI co-scientists with a very specific and cutting-edge question that they themselves were actively investigating. Yeah. So it's centered around how capsid-forming phage-inducible chromosomal islands, or CFP-ICIs, manage to exist across multiple bacterial species.
Wow.
This was a topic of their own unpublished research at the time they engaged the AI.
So they presented the AI with a really complex, unsolved biological puzzle.
Yeah.
One that they were personally invested in unraveling.
Right. So what insights did the AI provide in a remarkably short time frame? Just 2 days.
2 days.
The AI independently proposed that CFP-ICIs interact with diverse phage tails.
Okay.
So phages, as you know, are viruses that infect bacteria, and their tails are the structures that they use to attach and enter bacterial cells.
Right.
And so the AI hypothesized that this interaction allows CFP-ICIs to expand their range of host bacterial species.
That's incredible. So working purely computationally, the AI arrived at a very similar conclusion to what the human researchers had discovered through extensive lab experiments, and to do so in a fraction of the time.
Yeah, precisely. This in silico discovery mirrored the novel and experimentally validated results that the human experts had already obtained but hadn't yet published.
Wow.
The AI, building on this vast existing body of research, was able to reason its way to this complex biological mechanism in just a couple of days.
That really highlights the power of AI, not just for sifting through data, but for genuine scientific reasoning, hypothesis generation. It's not just about finding correlations.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the underlying biological logic.
Exactly. And the fact that it converged on unpublished findings really speaks to its ability to contribute novel insights, even in highly specialized areas of research.
Yeah.
Almost acting as a fresh pair of highly intelligent eyes on a problem.
We also mentioned earlier that the AI found an FDA-approved drug.
Oh, right.
With potential for cancer treatment. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes. So in the first case study we touched on earlier regarding acute myeloid leukemia, or AML, the AI was tasked with suggesting drugs for repurposing. And while it did suggest drugs with existing preclinical evidence, it also identified completely novel repurposing candidates.
Okay.
And among those that showed promise in lab tests was binimetinib. What's particularly noteworthy is that binimetinib is already FDA approved for metastatic melanoma. And it demonstrated a very low IC50 in AML cell lines, meaning it was effective at a very low concentration.
Oh, wow.
So this is significant because it suggests a potential avenue for rapidly translating AI-driven discoveries into clinical applications, since the drug's safety profile is already established.
So the AI essentially identified a potential new weapon in the fight against AML by looking beyond the obvious, connecting the dots between different diseases and existing treatments.
Exactly. It highlights the efficiency AI can bring to the drug discovery process, potentially saving significant time and resources in identifying promising candidates.
So looking at these examples, you know, the novel targets for liver fibrosis, the insights into bacterial evolution, the potential drug repurposing for cancer, what overarching practical lessons can you draw from the emergence of this AI co-scientist?
Well, the key takeaway for me is that this goes significantly beyond just AI summarizing existing research. We're seeing genuine hypothesis generation and even contributions to experimental design. So it's a true collaboration between human and artificial intelligence.
And it's crucial to underscore that scientist in the loop aspect.
Absolutely.
This isn't an autonomous entity taking over scientific inquiry. It's a tool designed to work alongside and amplify human expertise. Scientists are the ones defining the research questions, providing essential feedback, and ultimately guiding the AI's investigative process.
Exactly. And the underlying architecture of the AI is quite sophisticated. You know, it employs this multi-agent system where different components specialize in tasks like literature review, formulating hypotheses through simulated debate, critically evaluating those hypotheses, and even refining them based on new information or feedback.
Wow.
So it's not just a single monolithic algorithm.
And it leverages external resources as well. Like accessing up-to-date research via web searches, utilizing specialized AI models such as AlphaFold to predict protein structures. So it brings in this diverse range of capabilities. And the capacity to scale up the computational power for scientific reasoning is vital.
Absolutely.
By allowing the AI to kind of iteratively process and refine its outputs as it analyzes more data, the quality and depth of its insights can continuously improve.
Yeah.
It's also impressive that the system can generate not just basic hypotheses,
Right.
but detailed research proposals,
Yeah.
even in formats like NIH-specific aims pages. And the fact that these proposals were positively reviewed by experts in the field really speaks to the practical utility of this technology.
Absolutely. And when we revisit our case studies, I think they stand as concrete validations of AI's potential to accelerate discovery across this spectrum of biomedical challenges. From repurposing existing drugs to identifying novel therapeutic targets and unraveling fundamental biological mechanisms. These examples offer, I think, very practical pathways for how AI can contribute to future research endeavors.
So to bring it all together, this AI co-scientist represents a potentially transformative shift
Absolutely.
in how we approach biomedical discovery. It offers not just speed, but new avenues for understanding and tackling these complex biological problems.
And the examples that we've explored today, identifying a potential new use for an existing cancer drug, proposing novel ways to address liver fibrosis, and even predicting a key microbiological mechanism before it was published,
Right.
I think powerfully illustrate this potential.
It really feels like we're entering a new era of scientific exploration, where AI becomes an increasingly indispensable partner
Absolutely.
in our quest to understand the world and address pressing health challenges.
And it prompts an important consideration for you. As AI continues to advance and become more integrated into scientific research, how will this collaboration between human and machine ultimately reshape the landscape of scientific breakthroughs and our understanding of the intricacies of life itself?
It's a fascinating
It is.
and rapidly evolving field with profound implications.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll catch you next time with more insights into the forces shaping our world.